Hi everybody, welcome back to the Gallowgateshots YouTube channel. It's Chris and Decker here for your live instant reaction. We don't do these very often, but we thought we'd treat you today. So Decker, first of all, how are you doing, mate? You well?
I'm very good, thank you. Yes, how are you doing? Sounding got a bit of a cold day, but
full of cold, mate. I was just saying to you before we started recording here, just a couple of days ago I said to somebody at work, I haven't had cold this year. Nobody's getting cold this year. I got cold. Yeah, mate. I'm loaded, but
at least it's not the other thing.
on. Soldiering on, mate. Right, so let's get down to business. So Newcastle United 1, Leicester City 2. We put our predictions out there. Obviously, we got together yesterday and had a prediction between everyone associated with the channel. Nobody expected a win. There was a couple of people that expected a draw, maybe 1-1, but I think that was pushing it. Majority of people had a Newcastle defeat, either mainly by 2-1 or 3-1. So we all saw that coming, mate. But I think let's go with the starting 11. Obviously, Isaac Hayden couldn't play the game. He got that booking against Liverpool, so he missed the game. So Sean came in to sit alongside his brother Matty. Right move for you, mate? I know we've got hindsight on our side now, but is that correct move for you?
Yes, it probably is, and I think it does. Yet again, though, it showcases our vulnerability in centre of the park. That is the only option we really had. I would prefer to have him on probably than Shelby. Simply the fact of just trying to have some legs in there. Do you know what I mean? Now, obviously, we'll come on to the lack of legs as time went on, but yeah, I think hindsight in terms of what the starting lineup was, I think it was probably the best option we had. I think.
Yeah, Almiron was back in there as well, mate. I think we could do a full podcast on Almiron and what's happened to him over the last season. But I think we'll probably hold off that one maybe till Monday night. We'll get our heads together and go into detail on that one. But yeah, we'll just get straight on with it, mate. The goals. Obviously, we concede first. Madison gets the goal. Absolutely fantastic strike. But it's once again, it's just too easy, isn't it? It's way too easy for them to have a shot at target.
Well, first of all, how we lost the ball was so cheaply. We were, on the well, not through on goal, but Almiron was charging forward. He plays an intelligent pass to Wilson, but for whatever reason, Wilson's looking the other way, which then it goes behind him. Then when them break from there, I honestly like watching Matty try and run back. Now, what in his defence here, what I'll say is he hasn't played an awful lot of football, and this is his third start in 3 games, so maybe even he's feeling it a bit. But you could see both Longstaffs trying to run back. God, they were like
well, I put it out there straight after the goal. I'll put it out on the Gallowgateshots Twitter account that it was schoolboy stuff from both the brothers. They were running towards the ball, not knowing what was around them or if anyone was around them, and it wasn't just those two, mate. There was 6 players running after the same ball at one point, and they were just all huddled around the ball. Then obviously goes to the edge of the box, and Madison just absolutely
it's a great strike. I mean, he's got nobody around him. I also thought if you watch it back, Vardy will let Vardy come inside so easily instead of forcing him down the line. He comes inside, then he lays it to Madison, and it's a goal. So probably if we scored that goal, we'd be saying how well we're broke and how great of a finish. But defensively, I thought it was very poor.
You've got to look at it as well. Vardy had a lot of chances. I know he was offside for a lot of them. He put the ball in the back of the net earlier on, but it was millimeters, mate, that he was offside. Another day, it could have been 3, 4, 5 to Leicester. And I said this. I'd done a recording earlier today with a Leicester fan for their channel, and I said the same. I said if your players turn up and have the shooting boots on and they're clued up front, you'll get your chances and you get your goals. And it was proven today. We're always going to give opportunities, and I feel as if we're being really negative on this one because it wasn't too bad the first half. It wasn't too bad, but is that because right now the bar is so low for performances with us? We'll look at that sort of performance and think it's not that bad.
I think it's a good point. I think what you're saying there. I don't want to be too harsh here, right? Because I know that Leicester are a very good side, and how can I be annoyed when I actually said to you we'd get beat anyway? I think I said 2-1 and we're going to be 2-1. So how can I be negative and kick off? But you have to. You're on about the Vardy having a lot of chances. Obviously, we played quite a high line at times, and that's a dangerous game when they've got so much pace, especially with Vardy. But defensively, I thought we looked well organised, we looked well drilled, which you could say hasn't been like that under Bruce. You could argument with that. I think the day we actually did look like that, and that's how a lot of us say we've played canny, is because we just look organised. But when we actually get the ball, God almighty, man, like, we've got to be the worst team in the Premier League for actually having the ball. We just gift it away. Yeah. Every pass just seems to be a stray, or our first touch is shocking, which then leads to them winning the ball back. It's so bad.
Well, I said at half time, once again, I put on Twitter that it was sloppy at times, bad decision making, and finally that we can't take a throw in. And there's a lot of people saying, "Oh, you must be watching a different game." But I don't think you can look at that game and think that we're not sloppy, because there's so many times where 5-yard, 10-yard passes, they're so weak, they're not even making the players. And the likes of Leicester player just comes and picks it up. Thank you very much. Off we go. And throw-ins, that's my pet hate. And I'm not sure, it might have been Thomas from the Trust that put it on, saying that we all laughed at Liverpool when they got a coach in to teach the players how to take a throw-in. Yeah, we need that coach. Because it's horrendous.
There was one we did I think it was towards it was the second half actually, and Clark didn't have anyone to throw it to for at least like a minute, 2 minutes. And there's no joke. And
there was a few times in the first half, mate. There's a few times in the first half where I had the throw-ins, and I was thinking the referee's going to blow here and hurry you up, because there's just nobody showing for the ball.
Yeah, no one's showing. Yeah, and even when they do show for the ball, you tend to find they'll either throw it straight to the other player, or they'll throw it to a Newcastle player and it just bounces off and then we'll lose it. But we're so sloppy in possession.
It's if we do control it, mate, it goes all the way back to Darlow.
All the way back, yeah. Well, all the way back. That happened a lot again today, where we're in decent-ish positions on the field, and then one pass goes back, which sometimes there's nothing else you can do. You've got to try and start again, but then it quickly then goes back to your centre half, which might be Shea. In fairness to Shea, I actually thought he played quite well today, and he tried.
Clark did again, mate, as well.
He tried his best to keep the ball moving. He could have quite easily a lot of times just went back to the keeper, but he tried to be brave on the ball. And I'll always give someone credit if they're trying to be brave,
especially when you're centre backs, mate. We've said this quite a few times about the likes of Fabian Schär and Lejeune, that those are the sort of centre backs that are happy to pick it up, similar to what Colaccini used to do. We just used to pick that ball up and just start going on a little adventure up the field. And Fabian, he's had his critics over, I would say, the last 12 months. Since Steve Bruce has really been there, and the last couple of games, including today and Liverpool game, he has looked a little. Well, I'm saying a little bit better, but he's looked much better than what I've seen.
I honestly think it's been his best two performances back to back in a long time. But it's not enough though, is it? Just for him, I mean, it's quite mental to say that the most comfortable person on the ball for us is the centre half. Everybody else just looks either shit scared of having it, or it's just so sloppy in possession. It's terrible. It's awful.
Yeah. So once again, one of the players I want to talk about, and we've tried to defend this player as much as we can, but Joelinton today, mate, it's like there's a repellent between him and the ball. Every time the ball comes near him, it just bounces in another direction. There's no control there. And I'm not saying he's not trying, far from it, because he does try. And you can see he's trying. He's just, to put it the nicest way possible, he's just not good enough.
You've summed it up perfectly, mate. You definitely can't fault his effort. He's trying, he's working hard, he's getting stuck in. I'm not doubting that for a second. He's not going hiding. But he never, ever looks like he has control of the ball at any point in the game. And someone tweeted, one of my mates, and he was right in what he said. When he does get the ball, it seems to take him an age to do anything. Even if it's to collect the ball and turn, it seems to take forever for him to actually turn. I don't know the stats, but how many times he must have lost the ball today. It must have been incredible today. Whether or not he needs a break, I'm not sure, but the problem is now, how many games has he played now, really? It's got to be hitting.
Majority of them, mate. Majority of them.
It's a lot of football. And it's just not working, is it? No matter where we're playing. And
it's just a shame. We'll do this. It's just a shame that we'll have these sort of players that they've done well for the previous teams. I know Joelinton wasn't an out-and-out striker, but he did fairly well for previous teams. But it's just a shame, similar to Almiron, they're coming into a team where we've got very minimal possession. So it's very, very hard to judge the likes of your strikers on this sort of setup. But that doesn't excuse a bad first touch. Far from it. I think it's not good enough.
Yeah, this is when I'm not even judging him on goals or assists. I'm just judging him on being able to trap a ball and pass it. That's all I'm really asking for, and I can't even say that at the minute. I mean, especially today was a real poor one. Like,
so a few of the comments saying Daryl Big Joe has a touch of a baby elephant. Probably correct.
I put on saying the referee. I think I bet I touched him.
How many times did the referee touch a ball? 4. Was it 4 times?
Well, 3 out of that counted. It was insane. He was absolutely awful. But I don't know if you've seen they went in the studio at half time. I don't know if you listened to that part, but even Souness said, like, and this is very surprising, by the way, but he said, God, it must be hard watch for Newcastle fans watching this all the time.
It was like somebody had died at half time. Like the atmosphere in the studio was just flat. It's like normally it was just flat.
Yeah,
because crap on it.
I liked how it went straight back to Keane at half time, and like when the advert break finished, and Keane just said, "That was absolutely diabolical."
It was.
And but we've seen it for so often. You know, the only good thing is at that point it was 0-0.
This is the problem. We see this on a weekly basis, and the pundits used to come out and tell us, "Well, Steve Bruce is doing a good job." Blah 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 blah. But this is what we've got to live through. This is what we've got to watch 90 minutes of that every single week, and that was better than what it normally is. That's how frustrating it was.
Yeah, I think we also didn't press as much as we did against Liverpool. I didn't feel as if we did. But to be fair, we've played a lot worse than that, and that was still shit today. But we have played a lot worse than that, a hell of a lot worse. But I can't remember their keeper making a save in the second half. I mean, we scored. I give you that, but I can't remember him making a save. And again, it's that problem of being able to create a chance. We had a couple.
So they go 2-0 up, mate. And is it Tielemans he's called?
That's
So, brilliant goal. Another one. That Leicester always seem to score these goals against us. Always.
They do. Yeah, they do.
But another great finish.
In our defence, I mean, Shelby there, Jesus, he's just come on the field, man. And again, he's just almost walking back.
Just gets the wrong side of the player. Like, if you're not going to win the challenge, take the player out with it.
Yeah. I mean, they've scored 2 very good goals. I mean, the lads who have scored have took them very well, but both of them goals have come from the edge of a box and we haven't had a single player around them. And that's a concern. That's not great. Like,
yeah. Our goal. So Carroll comes on, and when Carroll comes on the pitch, there's normally a massive sigh around Tyneside of people just going, right, that's it, game's definitely over now. But it was, So it was hitting hope once again when Carroll comes on the field, as it always is. But we did manage to grab one. Carroll, fantastic finish, great finish.
Oh, brilliant. Shea did well to get out of the way. I think it was Shea. Like, jumped.
It was Fabian Shea, He like obviously dodged it, and that's when Kasper Schmeichel, who done his famous run to the referee, and what did he say to the referee, Decker?
You know who my dad is? My dad's Peter Schmeichel.
He did that, and I think he was looking to a similar sort of thing what Joe Hart done for the Czech goal, basically saying that he couldn't get to the ball because Fabian Shea was in the way. Fabian Shea's nowhere near you. Andy Carroll's hit that about 60 miles an hour. You're not getting that, mate.
A great strike. It really was. I mean, it's very difficult, the technique, because obviously he's went up for the header, then he realised he couldn't get it, and he's tracked back a little bit, and he's took the first time flush on the volley. It was a really, really nice finish. And this is what annoyed us a little bit, if I'm honest, is for all it wasn't great. The last 10 minutes or so, I actually thought we did a decent account of ourselves. Like, we were generally trying. Murphy done quite well, I thought, when he came on.
That's the frustrating thing, mate. Like 80 minutes of the game, you're sitting back and defending and hoping that you get a counter-attack. Then you're 2-0 down. Then you're trying to get further up the field. Why we're not doing this? Why we're not doing this from the start?
It doesn't make any sense. As I put in the group there before, like, plan A is like wait to lose, and then the plan B is lose. Like, when we have to at some point in a game go on the front foot. At some point, I understand we're playing Leicester, and I understand they're a very good team, and you're not going to go gung ho against this opposition. I get it, but at certain points at home, you've got to have a time where you command the ball and look threatening. And I just don't really feel we do. Well, we did when we went 2-0 down for 5 minutes.
I think probably Leicester fans will agree with us on this one. Leicester weren't fantastic today. No. Far from it. If they had been on top form, they would have absolutely buried us today. They would have done. So I think
the races either.
Didn't similar to the likes of the City game. Didn't really get out of first gear. Didn't have to get out of first gear, and still won pretty comfortably.
That's a good point, though, isn't it? They didn't have to get out of first gear. That's the problem, isn't it? And I think a few people tweeted, someone did, and it was a good about the Liverpool game, saying Liverpool never looked comfortable in that game. And that's how it should be in every game, especially at our place. We should be making teams feel uncomfortable. And today was another one where they just went through the motions and got the win quite easy.
Yeah, it's not good enough. There was something else which I wanted to talk about. Oh, what was it? Can't remember off the top of my head. It was something to do with the substitutes. But I can't. Almiron
coming off.
Yeah. So Almiron, mate, came off. And I know at the start of this I said we'll probably leave it till Monday night, but we'll quickly touch on it now. Almiron just looks completely lost for me. He looks like he doesn't have a role on that field. And he's... A lot of people describe Almiron and what he brings on the pitch as basically like a headless chicken. It was similar today. Those front three in Joelinton, Almiron, and Wilson, there was no synchronization there whatsoever. They were on complete opposite wavelengths to each other. Like you said earlier, Almiron puts a ball through, Wilson's looking over the other shoulder. It was all over the place, wasn't it?
It really was, and I think we've kind of touched on Joelinton giving him a little bit of criticism. It would be unfair to not also criticise Almiron. As much as I love the guy, and I've said to you countless times that he has to start, he really hasn't played well for a long time. It's been game after game after game. I don't think he knows where he's playing, how he needs to play. I mean, you see him buzzing around, but I mean, he's offering nothing, isn't he? He's offering nothing, and I hate to say that, but something's really not working at the minute for him either.
I don't know. Like I said, we'll focus on this a little bit more on tomorrow's live recording with the two lads on the podcast. Another player that I wanted to briefly touch on is Jacob Murphy. Jacob Murphy, he comes on the field and in the first few minutes he does more than what Joelinton's done for the previous 60 odd minutes of that he was on did he get subbed off around about 65th thereabouts?
He did. Well, because to be honest, when the subs went up and I seen Murphy coming on for Almiron, I was like, what? Because I was like, how is Joelinton not coming off? But then Shelby kind of come on for Joe.
But Murphy, once again, there is a decent player in there, mate, and I would probably cut him some slack for being raw talent if he was younger. But once again, his decision making at times is very, very poor. He just runs into players. It's just a strange one, especially when you've got Yedlin obviously playing a right wing back there today, and Yedlin's putting some fantastic crosses into the goal into the box. I don't know. Murphy, another one, frustrating. But as a club, this is what we're expected to have right now, isn't it? Those sort of players.
The two you've mentioned aren't probably on Premier League players. If I'm being brutally honest, I actually thought Murphy did well when he come on. I thought he did some great runs. He looked quick. He did some very, very good stuff. But it's his decision making, his final balls, very, very poor. And you would probably say he's very raw. But as you say, his age doesn't suggest that, if you know what I mean. Maybe it's just lack of quality. That's what it is. And Yedlin is very much the same. I didn't think Yedlin was particularly that bad today by any stretch, but it's just they're not Premier League players. They're not like they might be Premier League players, but they're very lower standard, aren't they? Do you know what I mean? And I think Murphy's a championship player, in my opinion. And I've said that from day one. But he still did more than Joelinton when he come on. He was still trying to beat a man. He was trying to use his pace. So I don't want to knock him too much, but it's the overall lack of quality in the team. And to be brutally honest, I know we all want Bruce out and all the rest of it, but my concern is have we really got the squad or the players? I keep thinking this week after week, to play the way that we would like to play by like being good on the ball. Like, is Yedlin good enough? Is Murphy really good enough? Because Fraser's injured all the time, so Fraser's not even a part of the equation at the minute, which is annoying. But I just feel like as much as I give Bruce stick, some of the players just aren't really at it the other. They're not like.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
It's just
and why I couldn't understand why Gale wasn't brought on. I think around about that 60 odd minute when Bruce did make the subs, I was hoping to see Gale come on the field. Maybe obviously take Joelinton off and put Gale on. Obviously never happened. I just don't know, because obviously last time Gale came out forward, he looks lively. He looks like he's closing balls down. He's chasing everything. But doesn't bring him on. And ops for Andy Carroll, and he's goal in the end. But how many times we've seen Andy Carroll come on the field and do absolutely nothing? Yeah.
Well, I totally agree. I mean, I know Carroll scored, but it's once in 10 years or whatever it is for us. Again, though, there's nobody close to Wilson. I mean, I didn't think Wilson had one of his better games, and that's fine because he's, he does so much in a game anyway. Yeah. But if Gale was on, I still believe he'd be closer to Wilson when he comes on. And even when Carroll come on, it's just going to go long ball, don't you? And I actually think Gale's been pretty good, to be fair, when he's been given a chance to come on off the bench. So it was surprising not to see him.
Yeah. Right, mate. We'll wrap this one up. Been going for 20 minutes here now. Thanks to everyone that has been watching. Thanks for all the comments. There's been a lot of comments coming there, but we will be back tomorrow night at 9 o'clock with Bestie and Mark alongside with for the Always Smiling Faces podcast. So if you do have any questions, get them sent over on the Twitter feed, or just wait until we go live and get them sent across, and we'll show them on screen. As always, we do have a membership program running at the moment. So if you do want to give us a little bit of a kickback just to help us go on creating these sort of things, then we appreciate it if you do sign up. But other than that, mate, that's a horrendous start to 2021. And I'm full of cold. They're still shit. And I'll see you tomorrow night.
True to form. Yeah, I'll see. We'll have a better conversation tomorrow. We'll depress ourselves even more.
Right, see you later, mate. Thank you. Thanks, guys.